What's up guys, it's Aiden, and today we are going to go through how
smoke some, drink some, pop one. Smoke some, drink some, pop one.
Travis Scott's SDP interlude was made. Let's jump into the remake. Dude, what a rush. What a rush. Hear that again. In this video, I will be remaking the song perfectly from front to back, showing you all of the exact samples, presets, everything that was used, and we'll try and get Shazam to pick up the original song in the final result. Now, yes, I know it's been 4 months since my last video. I do apologize, and I will try to be more consistent moving forward. But if you want to see more of this content, I am live streaming every day on Twitch, unless I'm recording these videos, in which case I'll probably take a week off for like filming and editing. So let's get into the remake process. First up, SDP interlude samples the track You and I by Washed Out. There are a few different versions of this track. You need to find the version that has this like sparkly synth. And with this sample, we have to speed it up and pitch it up. So let's go up here and go fit to tempo. So now this is going to find the tempo of this track and match it to the BPM of the project, which in this case is 108. There we go. So it's found the track to be 85 BPM. So it will speed it up proportionately, times it by like 1.27. Cool. The track is now sped up. Next up, we have this little gap in the introduction of the song. We need to get rid of that. So let's go to our slip tool. S is the shortcut, and we want to hold Option so we can drag it in really precisely. And if you want to get super nerdy with it, you can go to Options, General Settings, and then take up the time base to 960 so we can zoom in even further. So now we have this. It plays instantly. Next up, we're going to go to the pitch and take this up by 4 semitones. Now, we're only going to be using these 8 bars. So let's go to bar number 9 and make a chop here and go to our pen tool and then go right click, and that deletes the clip. Now let's go back to our cut tool, and we're going to be making 4 cuts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be arranged like this. 2, 1, 4, 3. For the introduction, we're only going to be using these 2 chops. So I can hold Shift and then drag to duplicate, and then I can go Command B to duplicate in a different way. So let's put this onto our mixer track, and first effect we are adding is a plugin called Parametric EQ2. So band number 1 is a low shelf. We're taking it down by 5 decibels, and we're bringing it up to 300 hertz. For the bandwidth, we want to make this nice and smooth. Band 2 is going to be taming some of the resonance that's coming around 205 hertz, -4 decibels, and let's tighten up the bandwidth to about 10%. Then for band number 6, we are putting this on 2.5 kilohertz, boosting up this band by 5 decibels. So it's a pretty interesting EQ so far. Adding a low pass filter, right click on the frequency and go create automation clip. Now we want it to arrive at 10,000 hertz, which is where it's currently programmed to. So let's copy this value of 10,000 hertz. And we're going to paste this at the end of the introduction. But at the start, we're actually going to be programming this to be 800 hertz. So it's a massive increase in frequency. Next up on this sample, we are opening up Fruity Reverb 2, and we're going to go to the Venue preset. And let's take up the high cut, take down the low cut, take off the pre-delay. We don't need any delay before the reverb comes in, and we are taking off the dry signal completely. So it's just going to be this reverby wash at the start of the song. For the chorus, we are going to be using the Rich Pad preset, and let's turn off dimension 4 because that's kind of like a intensity dimension. This is called Ozone Imager 2, and we're going to boost up the width to, you can double click here and go 50%, enabling stereo-wise, and we're switching the mode to mode number 1. Next up, I'm pulling up Parametric EQ2 onto the master channel. Up in the high end, you can hear we have some tape noise from some sort of tape machine. Maybe it's white noise added in post, I don't know. But we can perfectly replicate it regardless. And you can do this using RC20 Retro Color. This came out a few months after the song. And we're just going to be adding some noise using the tape 15 IPS, inches per second, and we're taking up the tone, maxing out the tone. From here, we are going to automate the mix of Fruity Reverb 2. So let's right click on the mix level and go create automation clip. It's all very intuitive. And we're going to come to the end of the introduction, which is right here, make a point at 100% and drag this down to 0. Yeah, so this is the bass. I made this bass on, I love this bass, man. It's a stereoized sub bass, classic Mike Dean bass. Although he wasn't credited on the production, he most definitely produced this bass. This is the bass stem extracted from the original song. Add a low pass filter. And then if we increase the filter emphasis, then let's go to the voicing and switch it from mono legato to mono, because you hear every time a new note plays in this bass melody, it re-triggers the cutoff envelope. Obviously, it's not that intense. Let's bring this down to like 2. In the original bass, I think they had a prominent square wavetable backed by a softer saw wavetable. For the unison effect, I actually don't want to use the unison within Mini V4. Let's go to advanced, and we're going to go to the effects and use super unison. Unison is going to have 3 voices, so like a central voice and then 2 wet voices, which looks really sick actually. Compared to the original song. Insanity! Next up we have a orchestral drum loop coming in. Whenever I remade this song in the past, I always got stumped on this orchestral drum loop right here. When looking for the origin of this drum loop, a member of our Discord server by the name of Wop, big shout out to Wop, he found this track right here called Traces of Red. And this official drum stem track was found by another member of our Discord, Sulfur. I was live streaming this whole process and I was doing some crazy sample manipulation. I was trying to figure out the exact panning of every individual drum sound. It wasn't quite working. A user by the name of Klaus reached out and he said, "Bro, that's not the sample. This is." And he was right. This was insanely niche. So this is like track number 11 or 12 off of the official soundtrack for a 2010 soccer anime series called Giant Killing. And as you can see, Mike Dean really hasn't messed with the leveling on this sample. You can see that the dynamics from the original score are still intact. But what I am noticing, and this is consistent throughout the entire drum stem track, is that there is a reduction in the low end. So I added this EQ here with a low shelf and a soft boost around 1700 and a soft reduction around 300 hertz. Next up, we have these vocals from Cassie Ventura. Awesome. These vocals are a huge part of the track, so let's remake them. First up, we have to figure out what the melody is. It's like, smoke some, drink some. Let's record a really rough guide vocal. Now, bear with me. I'm not a singer. This is going to sound not great. Smoke some, drink some, power one. 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 Now, here is where the magic comes in. Let's take these vocals into Automy. Big shout out to Automy for sponsoring this video. Now, among other things, their platform will allow you to change the timbre of your voice into someone else's. And I want to emphasize that all of the voices on their platform are coming from real artists and vocalists who have given their permission. So you are working with and supporting real vocalists and artists by using this platform. For this remake, we're going to be using Vanessa. Next, I'm going to set the key to C minor as is the key of the song, and I'm going to boost up the pitch correction and the D vibrato, but I'm going to double check this in the pitch editor.
Smoke some, drink some, power one.
I actually messed up the pitch as well. You can hear the first note is actually playing higher at G sharp. Smoke some,
drink some,
power one. As you can see, I played off key, but that's fine because we can put both of these into key.
power one. Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Damn, that's so good. All right, done. And we're going to be pitching this up by 12 semitones. So I sung this in a different register. I sung it 12 semitones lower. And let's convert this and see how we went.
Smoke some, drink some, power one. Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Smoke some, drink some, power one.
Smoke some, drink some, power.
Now, obviously, I can't possibly hope to perfectly replicate Cassie Ventura's voice because she is incredible. But for someone like me who can't really sing, I should say, really can't sing, this opens up a whole new level of possibility for my music. Big shout out to AutoMe for sponsoring this video. You can check the link in the description and use code Kenway for 20% off their monthly and yearly plans. So I made some chops because I didn't record this with a metronome. I just did one take like a badass. 4 effects on these vocals. Parametric EQ2, just adding a low shelf. Then this is a paid plugin from a FabFilter called Saturn 2, and we're using this to add some nice warmth and saturation to the audio.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
Fair bit of drive in the low to mid range. Then we are boosting up the tone in the presence, which is kind of like building that airiness in the sound. Before and after.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one. Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
Adding fruity chorus. And we're going to the presets, and we're going to be using the light HF preset. This is a really nice vocal preset.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
Then we are adding Valhalla delay. I don't know why the demo version has opened up. I have bought this plugin. This delay plugin is really dope. So we have these delays in the left and right channel, which are at slightly different timing. So it's adding this really nice space. And as you can see, we've boosted up the ducking. So during these brief vocal breaks, you'll hear this delay plugin come in more prominently.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one. Smoke some.
And you can hear that in the original song. There is that sort of FabFilter Pro R2 for this beautiful plate preset. So with all these effects on top,
Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
feel like the main difference between these vocals now and the original song are going to be differences in the way that I actually perform the vocals. So unfortunately, the limiting factor is me. Then we have this bass pluck sound. So for the bass pluck, we are going to be opening up Zenology, and we're using the BS, the Bass Rider preset. And you can find this preset in their JX8P Synthwave expansion. This preset sounds crazy similar to the original song. For starters, we can see there's not enough emphasis on the bass, so let's go into the edit section, and you can see there's a high pass filter on this preset. Let's just switch this to 0. Boost up the resonance to around 100. So there's a very slight resonance on this preset. Add this to the mixer, and we are pulling up OTT, completely removing the high end, then second going to the downward compression and bringing this down to 30%. So we are emphasizing the bass. Now, the drums do come in here. Well, let's hold off on those until the main section. Next up, we're coming back to the washed out You and I sample. For this next section, Cassie Ventura's vocals do continue, but it's this weird sort of chop. So we're going to be using this one, and these ones. So let's hold Command and left click and drag, then hold Shift to add more to this selection. And then we can hold Shift again, and then left click and drag from there. That way you can duplicate the vocals that you want. Hopefully that made sense. And then I'm holding Option to precisely drag this. Going to soften up the intro of this one here. And let's bring this last one back to being in time.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one. Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
For this section, we are applying 2 new effects. Number 1 is this low pass filter. Let's bring this to a gentle 6 slope, and we're going to bring down the bandwidth as well, so it fades down nice and smooth.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
Let's increase the reverb here as well.
Some, drink some, pop one.
That sounds really good. So we need to automate the mix here from 25% to 65%.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one. Smoke some, drink some, pour one.
Now we're adding in the bass. So let's have a look at what's happening with the extracted bass audio from the original song at this particular section. Let's go to the bass pluck, and we're going to add a filter. I think in this section there is actually a band filter, so like this. Gentle on both sides. So we want this EQ during this section of the song. Like that, perfect.
Smoke some, drink some, pop one. Smoke some, drink some, pop one.
Then we are adding these orchestral drums back in. So hold Shift, left click and drag. But we only want this second half of the orchestral drums playing. They come in like this.
Drink some, pop one. Smoke some, drink some, pop.
Oh, dude. Now we're coming into the main section. So to find out what drums that Ricky Riera used in the production of this song, it was a little tricky because he doesn't have a lot of information online about his production style, what DAW he uses, what packs he uses. And I was finding a lot of good candidates for the samples, but nothing was perfect. I was missing something. And once again, shout out to WAP. He actually found the identical kick, which came from Boy Wonder. Boy Wonder has a couple of official packs that are available to download, and all of the drums actually come from this pack. Starting off with the hi-hat, we are using the Cantham Hat 2. This comes from his pack Boy Wonder Kit 1. It typically goes by the name the Hit 1 hi-hat sample, which you'll find in an 808 Mafia kit, but this is a variation on that. And this is the exact sample as far as I can tell. First up, we are dropping this down in pitch by 7 semitones. Sounds like this. Let's normalize the sample and let's bring up the trim. And you can hear this in the original song. Now, this hi-hat is also panned to the right, as you can see. It's louder on the right channel. So we're going to be panning this 25% to the left. And it plays this pattern. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the snare clap, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can see that this sample is identical by comparing the EQ to the original song. Next up, we have the exact kick, which is the goodness kick. Let's take up the sample start offset so it lines up with the original. We bring this down by 4 semitones. Matches perfectly. Kick plays this pattern, so it goes boom, 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 and that's it. So when we play these together normally, it doesn't sound buttery like the original song. So here's the trick. We are going to duplicate this sample, go clone, and we're going to be using this kick as a phantom kick. So this isn't going to be on the master channel. We're going to be sidechaining the bass to this phantom kick. So right click on the input and go sidechain to this track. Now this kick is heading into insert 6. So let's go to insert 6 and we're going to open up Fruity Limiter. Bring up the sidechain to 1, threshold to 0, and the ratio down as well. And the reason I've duplicated this kick and this one doesn't make any sound is because now we can use this to have more control over the sidechain itself. So if we don't modify the kick, it will look like this. The purple area here is the audio that is being removed. So if we take up the length, you can see that the purple area gets shorter. Nice. Oh, and by the way, with the kick, this isn't something that you're going to pick up on unless you look at like the drum stem, for example. You can see that the kicks don't overlap in the waveforms. And so the way you do this is you go to your sample, right click on it and go cut itself. Then for the snare clap. This snare clap was easily the most difficult part of this song to recreate. I was looking for this snare clap for days and I went through thousands of samples to find this snare clap, man. Because we have these two atonal sounds that are kind of smashed together and they become like a new thing. Sometimes I'll get lucky because one of the sounds will play on their own at one point in the track, or maybe the snare clap is a pre-made sample already containing the snare and the clap. But in the case of this song and some other ones that come to mind that haunt me, like Type Shit or Too Many Nights, those snare claps, I don't really talk about this, those snare claps are an absolute nightmare to find. Yeah, and on top of that, this sound is clearly distorted. And then on top of that, every time the snare clap plays, it's playing with these hi-hats. You don't want to EQ out the hi-hat because you'll lose a lot of detail in the snare clap that you're looking for. So you need to find a stem extraction tool that will separate stems at a lower level, at like individual drum samples. Now, there isn't any stem extraction tool that will be able to separate a snare from a clap because they are too similar tonally. So I used MV-Sep to separate out the snare clap from the rest of the mix. Long story short, these are the exact samples. Number 1 is the Bless snare. It's this snare right here. This snare comes from Buddha Bless. You can find this snare in the Boy Wonder drum kit. And what made this snare so difficult to identify is that it plays 10 semitones lower in the original song. So we have to drop this down by 10 semitones. But you will be able to see this in the original waveforms. Look at that. But we need to modify this slightly. So let's go to the pre-computed effects and we are taking up the EQ to around 60%. So that's the snare. The clap is even crazier. We have the cancel clap. This is the exact clap that was used. And this one, we are pitching down by 7 semitones. Yes. And then once again, go to the pre-computed effects. And this time we are bringing down the cut, the filter cutoff down to 90%. So just softening up the high end a little bit there. And we are shifting this one across by 12 non-intervals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what I found in my analysis. And if we bring down the volume a little bit, you will see the sample in the sample. So that is crazy. And shout out to me because I spent a long time looking for these exact samples. And so let's put these in. Snare, and this is the clap. 1, 2, 3. We shift this one across. 1, 2. Cool. 12 non-intervals. My goodness. Here's the comparison so far. This is the original song and the snare clap. As you can see, we're missing some detail up in the very high treble. I was like, oh no! But we clutch up here because we add these to the same mixer track and we put on Fruity Soft Clipper compared to the Remake. Now for the cool part, record this audio into Edison. My goodness, man. Waveform specific. Waveform specific. For the final part of this remake, I'm going to show you the effects that they are adding to the sample for this section of the song. First effect is LFO tool. Fruity phaser for this phasing effect on top. And I want to boost up the chorus here as well from 25% to 50%. One more thing I forgot is we need to also add just the tiniest little bit of reverb on top of the sample. And I'm using 1% mix, so it just really subtly plays with this sample here. So this is the final result.
Smoke some, drink some, pour one. Smoke some, drink some, pour one. Smoke some.
So that is how SDP Interlude was made. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this video. I know it was a long time coming, but I will be posting more frequently in the future. So look out for future videos. Make sure you turn that little bell notification so you know when we go live. And I'll talk to you guys next time.